All right, go ahead.
Okay, so today Dave and I are going to undeniably show you that we believe that the Keystone XL pipeline project should be dismissed completely, not only for Canadians but also for the general population of the world. We will use 4 main points to show you why we believe this so strongly. We'll be showing you economical factors, environmental factors, native reserve land and the damage to those people, and alternatives for clean and sustainable energy. The carbon dioxide levels in the world's atmosphere are the highest that they've ever been in millions of years. The construction of this pipeline is estimated to contribute a further 17% to the atmosphere than regularly pumped fossil fuels. The last time there was CO2 levels this high was millions of years ago. The sea levels were 80 feet higher than they are now. The only difference between now and then is that the world wasn't populated with millions of people to die of the effect of dangerous pollution and carbon dioxide levels. The Earth is at a critical level of population right now, and adding yet another route to transport outdated, dirty, poison fuels to be refined for our consumption is not the answer.
Okay, great, thank you guys. And opening statement over on this side, go ahead.
Okay, crude oil and natural gas are 2 of the most important resources we have in the world. We use them to heat our homes, drive our cars, and without these 2 resources, we wouldn't get to enjoy the basic services that we enjoy today, that we become accustomed to. Pipelines offer the most reliable and safest form of transportation, and it's good for the economy as it creates a huge amount of jobs. The Keystone XL pipeline ensures Canada and U.S. uninterrupted availability of energy sources at affordable prices. We can't overlook the importance of these resources, and we need a proper way to transport them. And that's all I got.
Great, thank you. All right.
Okay, so the 2 main points that I'm going to be making are the economic effects and why we should be looking to clean alternative sustainable energy first. The Keystone pipeline, yes, it will create jobs, but those jobs will be mostly American jobs. There will be 9,000 jobs created by the construction of the Keystone XL pipeline. American jobs, not Canadian jobs. That pipeline will be transporting 830,000 barrels of crude oil daily. There's so many opportunities for mistakes to happen. The pipeline is going to be costing approximately $5.3 to $10 billion to construct with 2,000 kilometers of pipeline. Why aren't we refining this oil here at home? Why are we sending it somewhere else? The Canadian crude oil industry is actually losing money for Canadians annually. We have to sell it as a discount to American refineries to get refined. It's costing the Canadian government and the people $19 billion annually. A refinery has been estimated to cost about $10 billion. Why aren't we using that money that we're bleeding annually to create a new refinery so Canadian jobs can be created, keep Canadian crude in Canada, and create more money for Canadians to lessen our national debt? There are 3 other options that we could be using to refine oil in Canada. We could be sending it out east to the New Brunswick refinery. We could be sending it out to Kitimat, BC. We could also be sending it out to the new Kinder Morgan refinery that's proposed to be built in the Greater Vancouver area. We could use Line 9 in Montreal. There are so many options for Canadian oil to be refined in Canada. Why aren't we using them? The second point I want to talk about is alternative clean energy. You said that the 2 most important resources that we have are gas and crude oil. I beg to differ. Everybody needs oxygen and everybody needs water. Canada is extremely lucky to have such a rich and large mass to use its natural resources from. We could be using more wind energy, geothermal, hydro, biomass. There are so many options that we could be utilizing as opposed to fossil fuels. Last year, in 2012, according to the David Suzuki Foundation, the world spent $244 million on clean and sustainable energy. It's just a fraction of what was spent creating fossil fuels and dangers in pollution. pollution levels and emitting more carbon dioxide into the world's atmosphere. It's not expensive when you think about it. It's really not. For our children's future, we should not be emitting more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere because we're just cutting their life short.
Cool.
Sorry.
Okay, that's all good. The pipeline violates tribal sovereignty. The proposed route of the Trans-Canada Keystone XL pipeline crosses directly through the Great Sioux Nation Treaty Lands, defined in both the 1851 and the 1868 Fort Lemire treaties. In northern Alberta, the region where the tar sands are extracted is home to many Indigenous populations. Important parts of their culture and traditions and livelihood are coming under attack because of the tar sands operations. Not only have the Indigenous communities been forced off their lands, but also those living downstreams from the tailing ponds have seen spikes in rates of rare cancers. In the lakeside village of Fort Chipewyan, for example, 100 of the town's 1,200 residents have died from rare cancers. With the Keystone XL pipeline, there are concerns about oil leaks. In 2010, a pipeline carrying oil sands and crude in Michigan leaked, spilling 843,000 gallons into the Kalamazoo River. Landowners in places like Nebraska are worried about the same happening to the new pipeline. TransCanada has said they have this new technology for sensors to shut off these pipelines in case of a leak. But in a State Department review, it found these sensors will not detect smaller leaks, only major leaks. Take for instance, Cold Lake, Alberta, an oil leak which steady flow of oil seeped up ground, leaving pools of oil on the surface, contaminating and killing plants and animals for several weeks after being discovered in May 2013. Yes, they'll find these major leaks, but the small ones will go unnoticed for months to possibly years, doing much more damage.
Okay, so you mentioned that it creates jobs for Americans. So Canadians, you're telling me that there's going to be no jobs coming to Canada?
I can't answer you, that's your point.
That's rhetorical. But an actual one. Okay. Now, the U.S. Department's final supplement environment impact statement found that the project would support more than 42,000 direct and indirect jobs nationwide. That's U.S. and Canada. Pipelines carry more than just crude oil and natural gas. They carry economical benefits to Canadians, because more than 1/4 of Canada's goods producing value comes from the pipelines, while generating thousands of jobs. Okay, so the pipelines will generate an estimated $5 billion in additional property taxes during their operational life. The Canadian Energy Research Institute predicts that the Keystone XL pipeline project will add $172 billion to America's gross domestic product by 2035, and will create an additional 1.8 million person years of employment in the United States over the next 22 years. And pipeline, and if the economy in the U.S. is good, the economy in Canada will benefit from that too. Okay, so energy security. The Keystone Pipeline provides energy security. The International Energy Agency defines energy security as the uninterrupted availability of energy sources at affordable prices. Now, crude oil and natural gas are very important resources for the world that we live in. Therefore, the need of efficient and reliable access to these resources is key for the world we live in today. Energy security is a critical component in ensuring services such as gas stoves, clean water, reliable power grids, and medical supplies in the U.S. and Canada. In times of disaster, we will be such as hospitals, fire stations, and other critical infrastructure. They rely on these resources to help them out, and we would be in kind of a mess if we just let all that go. We take it for granted, and if we can't.
Okay. Go ahead.
All the Who's down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. Dr. Seuss, the Grinch who stole Christmas. Why didn't the Grinch like Christmas? His heart may have been 3 sizes too small, but that is because from an early age, he knew the true spirit behind Christmas was left behind. Christmas is a time of year everyone enjoys, time off work, time off school, and seeing your family. But now you can see the level of commercialism branded everywhere, on TV, on radio, the internet, and even just looking under the typical Christmas tree can show you that the original spirit of the holidays is lost. With children being able to see Santa at every mall as a ploy to get parents in for shopping, Santa's face on every product, and adult gifts being the most expensive ones to buy, and usually it's technology, it's quite evident that Christmas has become too commercialized.
Great. When you guys are ready.
Okay, so Christmas is just so much fun, to be honest. I understand what you mean by it's being too commercialized now, but if you think about it, not everybody thinks the same way. Not everybody treats Christmas the same way, and we will be talking about that within our 4 points. I understand the stress that people go through when Christmas time comes, the amount of health issues, like heart attacks, all that stuff, with the good food and all that lovely stuff, and the stress of buying gifts and making sure you have everybody thought about and whatnot. But to be honest, Christmas is just about spending time with the ones you love, and I don't think it's completely lost.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, good job. I feel like Kim could take that point.
Go ahead, Ken.
And that's all her points.
4 points starting off.
So my first point is that the money that we spend on Christmas is way too high, like just ridiculous. In 2010, I found an article based from 2010 by the Toronto Star. These stats from Stats Canada. $551.5 million were spent just on toys at Christmas. Just toys, not food, not decorations, just toys. That's insane. That was up 232% from average monthly sales. For one day, it was up 232%. $405.5 million were spent just on food in December. That's compared to $278.3 million in an average month. 43% of turkeys are sold at Christmas time. Like, it's become so outrageously commercialized. Like, even what you said, there's so much stress and there's so many health problems related to Christmas because you have to live up to a certain standard, I think. Like, people think that you have to have X amount of presents under the tree for it to be a good Christmas. One of my coworkers, she just quit her job and she's worried now because she can't provide a good Christmas for her kids. It shouldn't be about providing all of these presents and all that stuff. It should be about spending time with your family. Another point I have was, do you remember your 7th birthday? Or your 7th Christmas, sorry. Mine are like right side by side. Your 7th Christmas. Do you remember it? What you got? Probably not. Most people kind of get their toys, get their Christmas stuff, and they forget about it or they give it away within 3 or 4 months. They don't care about it anymore because it's not vital. I remember what I got because I had this obsession with husky stuffed toys, but I could never remember what it was called, and I always asked for a Wile E. Coyote. Why? Because that's just what I thought it was called. So when I got that for Christmas, I was so disappointed because I didn't get what I wanted. I should have been grateful for the fact that I got a toy. I got something new, something awesome to play with, and I was so upset because I didn't get what I wanted exactly. My 13-year-old sister, she wants a laptop and an iPhone and Ugg boots. Not just like the knockoff ones, she wants the $300 boots because it's a status symbol for her. My 6-year-old sister wants an iPhone because my other sister wants one. And she wants this American Girl doll, which she doesn't even know what it is. It looks cool on TV, so that's why she wants it. That's all people think about now at Christmas, is they just want the stuff.
Continuing on with the people who just want the stuff. I have an 8-year-old sister and a 5-year-old brother, and each year their lists get longer and longer. And they look on websites and just kind of pick what they think looks cool based off of the picture. And in turn, that will lead my stepdad to go buy most of the gifts on the list. Like, these lists are like double-sided, everything you could possibly think of on the page. And my stepdad will actually go out and buy them. And there's barely any room to sit around the Christmas tree because there's so many gifts under it. And most of these toys just end up, like, even at the end of the day, just being in the toy box and never seen or heard from again. And then, on the other hand, too, there are advent calendars, a typical traditional thing for most people. Now, advent calendars used to just be like the little boxes of cardboard with the plastic inside, and you open it up, and there's a little bag chocolates for every day leading up till Christmas. But more businesses have taken that tradition and made it their own. There are advent calendars for beer, wine, whiskey, tea, even Lego has their own advent calendars now with their own little characters in it, and those are upwards towards like $70 or $80 for the box. So this is just more proof that companies take advantage of the fact that Christmas is over-commercialized. Even Coke plasters Santa's face all over their cans of products.
Cool, that was just 4 minutes too, good job.
Okay, great. Over here for the rebuttal. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, my 2 points are that the thought of Christmas being too commercial is an opinion. Like, there's no rule that says you have to go out and spend all this money. If you personally believe that people spend too much money, then stop spending money at Christmas. You do not have to get your kids all the things on their wish list. You should be a strong enough parent to say, no, you're a spoiled brat and you can just wait. Like, there's no rule saying you have to spend money. Like children, like your facts, your points were children, all your examples were my 8-year-old sister, my 5-year-old brother. Like, the children want things, yeah, but parents, like, that's a total different story. Like parents just should, like, not, like, the reason why their children want things is because they get things. Like, if they are gonna make this list, but they think they have a chance of getting it, and you're gonna, like, be like, oh yeah, I guess you have a chance of getting it, and then they get it, so they keep on writing more things down on their list, because they're like, well, I got all this stuff, so, like, I'm allowed to get more, because they will buy it for me, like, okay, like, you should be strong enough as a parent to just stop, like, stop. Okay, so then, my second point is that, we cannot help the fact that we spend a lot on Christmas, like, your points, yeah. Your points are we need the points are family and love and like spending time with each other, and like a way to prove, like not prove, but a way to show that you love someone is like, I want to get, like, you want this so bad, like I love you enough to get this for you, like I don't know, I just feel like that smile on their face when they open something that they really wanted is like worth it, like that little bit of joy. I feel like that brings me happiness. Like that is what, like happiness. Christmas is about happiness and love. I want to show that I love you. I want to see how happy you are when I get this for you. Like, yeah, they're smiling and happy, and that's what Christmas is about. And if I have to spend $100 on something that you want, then I will do it. Because, like, if I spend money, it does, like, it helps the economy, duh, she'll take that point. But I'm spending money on you. I'm not spending money on myself. Like, if I'm doing it for other people, then it's okay. I'm not being selfish and spending it on myself. Those are my 2 points.
She kind of went into my 2 points, too.
Sorry.
So, my one point was that, yeah, Christmas is about displaying your affection to one another. It's about family bonding. It's about spending time with the ones you love, just sharing it with people and making memories. And my second point is that, yes, it may be too commercialized. Like, let's say it is too commercialized. It's not really a bad thing. It's helping the economy. It's helping people get more jobs around this time of year. It's helping people off bills, car loans, car insurance, rent, all that stuff. Like maybe not for everybody, but I can only speak for myself, and that's all I can say.
Can I add something? Or is
Yeah.
that
No, that's it.
Last 4 minutes.
Okay. Now you guys have a minute to prep. Aylin, go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I do agree that not everybody treats Christmas the same way. Not every family is socially the same, so they can't afford necessarily the same things. But just because not everybody thinks that commercialism isn't there, doesn't mean it isn't there. And the other thing is too, is being greedy and spending a lot of money has nothing to do with the fact that businesses are commercializing Christmas. And then, your first 2 points actually totally contradicted each other. Because you talked about not spending money if you don't want your kids to be spoiled. But then you said that we can't control how much we spend at Christmas because how much you love somebody.
Okay, let them respond and then back to
He
Kim.
used my name, so can I say it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, yeah, but that's like self-control. Like, I don't want
But
to
you
like.
said you can't control it.
No, but like you can't like as like a big whole you can't. But like for say like I like don't want to I don't want to spoil my kids. So I'm not gonna get everything on the list that they want. But because like they were good this year, I'm gonna pick and choose and be like, well, for her sister, she wants a laptop and an iPhone and all this stuff that I booth. I would personally pick like one thing. I'd pick like the laptop and be like, I'm gonna give this to you because I love you, but I'm not gonna go all the way out and spend like all that on all of the things that they want, like, everything on their list. But I will spend.
Okay, go ahead, Kim.
Okay, so first of all, you shouldn't have to spend money just to show somebody that you care. Like you went right into this point saying you should be controlling how much you're spending, or like you should be controlling what your kids want and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. But then you went right into, but you're gonna spend X amount of money just to show that you love them. You shouldn't have to spend that money to show you love them. And then to back up Halen's point about companies being commercialized, I work at Starbucks. This year they redid Christmas. That's what they sent us in the packaging. They said, we're redoing Christmas. They took away all their old merchandise and put out hundreds of new cups. We have a gift card that the card itself is worth $150. Why? Because people will spend the money. I have seen it. I have worked it. It's ridiculous. People will spend the money because it's a status thing. And they think that because there's Christmas stuff everywhere, they have to buy it. It's insane.
Any feedback over here?
No.
Okay, Kaylin, go.
And people have started putting less value on the idea of making gifts for other people. It goes along with the not having to spend money. Somebody that you love will appreciate you making something for them much more than they will than if you just go out and buy like a nice watch or a video game or a PlayStation or whatever.
I again think that's a personal preference. I think that's a personal preference. Not being a snitch, but I personally would have rather had that Rolex than that customized thing that you made me. Like, maybe I want something like that. Like, personal preference, can't make a call for everyone. Maybe people yeah, maybe some people like homemade stuff, but like I made a homemade thing, but I still had to buy the things to make this homemade thing. I had to print all the pictures off. I spent like probably $60 on this thing. I had to home make myself, but I could have made the photography. Like I could have made Costco make this photo book. I could have paid them to do it, but I did it myself, and I still like had to spend money. You still have to spend money on things that you. What are you gonna do? Make a macaroni necklace out of the macaroni that you have? No, you still have to go out and buy the macaroni that you're making.
Okay, Helen, go ahead.
The fact that you're bringing up how much money you have to spend just shows how commercialized it is. Because even when you're sitting there thinking about making something for somebody, like you could have that stuff at home and it could have been sitting there for years, but the fact that you're still talking about the money you have to spend on that person's gift just shows that it's commercialized and that it's all about the money.
Okay, Charisse, go ahead.
Okay, so maybe, have you ever thought that maybe the reason why businesses nowadays are making Christmas more commercialized is because,
language.
Okay, it's more commercialized because Christmas is, the people that work within those companies need money, they need cash, they need these jobs. So the reason why they're making it more commercialized is to help benefit the economy, help them get more bonuses during Christmas time. I don't know. I think it's more to help the economy instead of being free.
Okay, I'm not sure who was first here. Kim, go ahead.
False. Do you know how much it costs just at Christmas time? I'm a college
Okay.
student.
Did you say false?
I said false to your point.
This is the last point before we close it up.
Just at Christmas time. Just to go home, my mom, she hounds me all year long just to come home at Christmas time because she still has the aspect of it's not totally commercialized. She just wants me to come home just to have me there. But even just driving there, just travel times to get to this one place for one day, it's like $200 for me. It's expensive. So you're creating more debt. I'm in school. I don't make that much money. I don't just have that much money just sitting in my bank account for no reason.
Okay.
Plus getting. Okay.
Let's end it there. Good point. Okay, thank you for that awesome open debate. That was entertaining. Okay, now 2 minutes to close, and because these guys started over here, you guys will get the opportunity to close first.
You can say what you have to say.
I just say that if you don't want to spend the money, then don't spend. You don't have to buy that 150 Starbucks gold thing if you don't want to. It's out there. If I want to buy it, then I will. Like, it's out there. It's not. You're not forced to do it. I'm still using this. Thank you. Now I'm lost. And when you buy gifts, a lot of gifts, you know how many minutes you sit there at the Christmas tree together opening these presents? The more presents, the more time you spend together. Like, the bigger the dinner you buy, the longer you sit at the dinner table with your family. Like,
I don't know. Go ahead.
the longer you spend at the dinner table together, like, and then you just get annoyed with them. But then you have like all these presents, and you're like, "Hey, kids, go away!" Like, I'm annoyed with you. But then you have all these presents, and you just have them go away.
Okay.
And and everything is evolving. People have the freedom to do what they want. People have the freedom to celebrate how they want. And by the way, Black Friday is right before Christmas, so they don't actually spend that much. It's Black Friday. You get all these discounts and deals, and like, so it's not actually as much as you think you're spending. You get so many savings. So thankful for Black Friday.
Okay. All right, closing statements over here.
Okay. We just believe that Christmas is way too commercialized. We spend an entire day just focused on opening presents instead of going out and having a family event, just spending time with your family. Like, if you get sick of your family members, just go play with the stuff that we bought you. That's losing the true meaning of Christmas. It's way too commercialized. I can't think of anything else to say.
That's great. Okay, thank you.